Good morning, class. So let us continue with the class and try to wind up the chapter today. Hopefully, we will be finishing it as we are just left with another two more topics. Let us straight away go to page number 91 and start the topic philosophers, as we were discussing about some of the famous people of the world, right? So under the topic philosophers, the first one is about Socrates. So let us see. Socrates was a great philosopher and thinker. He believed in thinking and reasoning. He stood for nothing but the truth. Underline that. He stood for nothing but the truth, because that's one of the most important characteristic that I believe, I personally feel that one must possess as an individual, as a human being. He was frank and fearless. The people of his time were superstitious. They had no courage to say anything against the royal authority. Socrates was asked to give up his search for truth or die. I repeat this line. Socrates was asked to give up his search for truth or die. He could not leave truth, and so he chose to die. He cheerfully drank a cup of poison. Thus, he died for a noble cause, but he had become immortal. People feel inspired by the values and ideals he stood for. Socrates did not write any books. His ideas were written and preserved by his pupils. Plato, the well-known scholar of Greece and a disciple of Socrates, tried to complete the unfinished task of his master. I hope you understood what do you mean by that unfinished task of his master, which means the search for truth. Alright, so now let us note down some of the important points about Socrates. First of all, he was a philosopher and a thinker as well. He believed in reasoning, logical, in simple words, if I say logic, questioning, trying to understand the reason behind a particular thing, and not just simply following or doing a thing just for the sake of doing, or else because someone else is doing. And one of the most which I asked you to underline, that he stood for nothing but the truth. He was also a fearless person. A fearless person does not mean that you must be a kind of disrespectful to the others, or you must not listen to others. No, fearless simply means having courage, which means the courage to face the difficulties, to face the challenges. That's called fearless. That's called courageous. See, one who is fearless does not mean that he or she does not have fear. No, you must understand what you mean by fearless means. Fearless simply means that if somebody says that he is fearless or she is fearless, which means that that particular person has got the courage to face the fear. That's called fearless. Okay, and also to overcome it. The people of his time, when he was there, during his days, they were very much superstitious. Superstitious is a sort of a blind belief without any logic, without any reasoning. And at the same time, these people of his time, they had no courage to ask a question or to say anything against the royal authority, but he was not so. In fact, when he wanted to know the truth, when he was trying to find out the truth, dig out the truth, he was asked to give up this search of truth, or else he was given two options: either to give up the search for the truth or to die. He cheerfully, happily chose to die, and he drank a cup of poison. And that is the reason that today we are reading about him, as because he has died for a noble cause. Even though he died physically, but he is immortal. People, even today, they feel inspired by him. They feel inspired by him, especially of his values for which he stood. Even though he did not write any books, but his ideas, his beliefs are still preserved. That is how we are getting to know about him. We are getting to read about him by his pupils, by his disciples, by his followers. One of the famous disciple of Socrates is Plato, who is a well-known scholar of Greece. He was not only a disciple, he also tried to complete the unfinished task of his master, that is the search for truth. Next we have Karl Marx. Karl Marx, from 1818 to 1883, was born in 1818 to Jewish parents in Germany. He was a great scholar. He studied history, philosophy, and law. In his times, unlike that, all the studies that he has done of the different branches of studies, history, philosophy, and law as well. In his times, the Industrial Revolution was sweeping all over Europe. The factory owners had become rich while the factory workers were poor. It's something very important, I'll tell you why. Karl Marx was against capitalism. He wanted all means of production to be owned by the society instead of individuals. He and his friend Frederick Engels wrote a book called Communist Manifesto. Underline that, the name of the book, written by him and his friend. They advised workers to unite and take up the ownership of factories. In another book, Das Kapital, Karl Marx further elaborated his views. Underline the name of the other book as well. His ideology is termed as socialism. His belief, his practices, his principles. The ideas of Karl Marx had a deep effect on the people all over the world. His philosophy was developed and applied by Vladimir Lenin that continued to influence the 20th century. Marx worked and preached for the equality of human beings. Underline the name Vladimir Lenin and the last sentence, that he actually worked for the equality of the human being. There's a picture of him and this just beside this topic on the right hand side of the same page. Alright, now listen. So he was born in 1818. He belonged from the Jewish community and he was a great scholar. He had studied different branches, not only one particular branch like history, philosophy, and law as well. And during his time, when he was there was this Industrial Revolution. You'll get to know much about Industrial Revolution in your higher classes, what you really mean by Industrial Revolution. The factory owners during this time, they became rich, whereas those people for whom these factory owners became rich, those people were poor. I hope you understood. I mean the workers. It is the workers because of whom the owner, becomes rich of a factory or of an industry. But owner becomes rich, the workers remains poor. So that was something which Karl Marx was against. He believed that he was not against the rich. Understand that he was not against the richness of the factory owners. He was against that the workers for whom the factory owner is becoming rich, they are still poor. Why not they also become rich? That's what he was, against for. It was not that he didn't like the owners. What he really meant is that, like the owners, even they must become rich. That's what he wanted. So he was against capitalism, you can say that. Now, what is capitalism? Much about that I won't go in detail of capitalism, as this is just about some of the famous people of the world. You'll get to know more about this in detail in your history portion and all, when you go to your higher classes, history and also pol science, civics, which means. So he was against this, production, which was owned by the individual. He wanted that the production must be owned by the society. Instead of being an individual, it must be owned by a group, so that the profit, the earning can be divided to all the members of the group and not just one individual will hold it, right? He and his friend wrote a book called Communist Manifesto, and they advised both of them to the workers that to be united and to take up the ownership of the factories and not just being a worker. In fact, there was another book called Das Kapital where he also elaborated what he really wanted, what he really meant. Now his belief, his principles, his way of thinking, his ideology is considered as socialism, and people were really moved by his ideology, his principles all over the world. His philosophy was also adopted by this Vladimir Lenin, and during the 20th century, and that is what was influencing to the people as well. Karl Marx worked and preached for the equality of the human being. As I already told you in the beginning itself, that he was not against the factory owners being rich. He was against the workers being poor. He wanted that if that fellow is becoming rich because of their work, why they are not becoming rich, which means equality in simple term. So yes, with this we come to the end of the chapter. Let us just recapitulate the whole lesson in points, which is written just below this particular topic. Number one, Rabindranath Tagore was a great poet, philosopher, a music composer, and a leader of Brahmo Samaj as well. Two, Sarojini Naidu was the first Indian women president of Indian National Congress. Next, Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery in America. These are just some of the points. So you can say 1 point from each personalities. There are multiple points as we have discussed, and I have asked you to underline. So you have to go through the entire text, not only this. This is just to recall. Gandhiji taught non-violence and led India to independence. Martin Luther King fought for the civil rights of the African Americans of the US. Socrates inspired the people to accept nothing but truth. I hope you do get inspired by it. So there are almost 1, 2. Now I'm talking about the exercise. Yeah, just 1-2 questions are left from each questions from each section. You can say, be it fill in the blanks, true or false. I can see all of this are done. So we are also done with the exercise. So from question number A, answer the following question. You just have question number 1 and 5 for today. That's your assignment. From question number 2, that's fill in the blanks. You just have question number 1. That's all. Karl Marx was against that. Take the correct answer. Just 2. Question number 3 and 4, match the column. Yes, we did not do any because it's all jumbled up. It's all mixed up the whole chapter. So you'll be doing it today, the entire match the column. And yes, answer the following question orally. Just 1 question, I believe. Yes, it's only 1. Write the name of the book written by Karl Marx. That's all. So yes, dear children, we are done with this chapter. In the next class, we shall commence a new chapter. Now you know what you have to do. Exam very soon, half yearly. So keep that in mind and prepare yourself accordingly. Alright, see you in the next class. Study well. God bless you all.